Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Momentum Mondays. My name is Lynette Rogers, and I am super excited this morning. Thanks to everyone for joining us today. I am officially kicking off the call, and I would like to introduce someone who is such a phenomenal woman. She is known to some as a professional coach, a role model, a mentor, a leader, national speaker, Vice President of Human Resources in Corporate America, and many others. But the title that she says that is most important to her are wife and mom. She has helped me and hundreds of women across the country become better and stronger. She is the host and the visionary of this call. Please welcome Miss Jill Green. Jill, are you out there?
I am, Lynette, and thank you so much for that introduction. And I want to say to all of you, good morning, and good morning. Welcome to Momentum Mondays. Again, I'm Jill Green, the host of the call that's designed to wake you up, shake you up, and take you up to new levels in your life, your career, your business, and your dreams. Now, why are we calling this Momentum Mondays? Because momentum is critical for success in your life. It propels your life forward in great new direction. So, who is this call for? It is for everybody. If you're a stay-at-home parent, if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, if you have a job, a career, a profession, if you're in the direct sales industry, if you need a breakthrough, if you need something different, if you need a new you, you're in the right place today. Now, I'd like to introduce you to our amazing co-host this morning. First up, we have Bishop Dickie Robbins. He's the pastor of Life in Christ Cathedral Faith Ministries, the visionary of Emerge Leadership Conferences in the Philadelphia area, all the way from Chester, Pennsylvania. Say good morning to Bishop Dickie Robbins. Good morning, Bishop.
Good morning, Jill Green. Good morning, America. This is, in fact, Momentum Money, and I am excited.
Awesome. And we also have on the line Miss Michelle Washington. She is the founder of Michelle Marie Fashion Agency, visionary of Women of More campaign, had an amazing empower event just a couple of weeks ago. Give it up and say good morning all the way from Newark, Delaware, Miss Michelle Washington.
Good morning, Jill. Woo! Let's go.
I love this. And on the line with us, we also have Miss Danita Washington. She is the founder of the Fort Wayne Girls Rock and Girls Rock Summer Camp, who's hosting a summer camp actually this weekend. She's all the way from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Please say good morning to Miss Danita Washington.
Good morning, Jill Jordan Green. Welcome, America.
I love that. That's right. Welcome, America. Absolutely. And last but certainly not least, you've already heard her beautiful voice this morning. We have Miss Lynette Rogers. She is the owner of Virtually Yours, founder of Saving Our Youth, and author of #1 best-selling book, Mission Unstoppable, that she penned with Les Brown and George Fraser. So help me say good morning to Miss Lynette Rogers. Good morning, Lynette.
Good morning, Jill, and good morning to all the Momentum Monday movers and shakers. Woo!
Yes. So we want to just say, guys, we're going to be here every single Monday morning to make sure that your Monday will never be the same. If you haven't done so already, please join our Momentum Monday Facebook group. Go to Facebook, select the group, and get in. Get in on the discussions. They are amazing. And post right now if you can, #I'm on the call. Post #I am on the call. Now, if you've been following us, as you know, we've been reading the book, The Top 10 Distinctions Between Winners and Whiners. This book is by Keith Cameron Smith, and we're talking about mindset. You can't have momentum unless you have the proper mindset. So in this book, he teaches us powerful principles about having a winning mindset. We've already learned winners, they take responsibility. Winners, they brighten a room and create their own weather. Winners, listen as much as they talk. Winners, embrace the process along the way. And, folks, for those of you who hung up right on time last week, you missed a special bonus moment. We had what we have created, the after call. We all stayed on about an extra 15 minutes, and Danita Washington took us to school on what it means to build relationships as a winner. And today we're going to have another amazing session, and this is about distinction number 3 in the book, winners think big and whiners think small. So, Bishop, let's break this down. What does it mean to really think big?
The thinking big, Jill, from the business perspective, has to do with what's guiding your thinking. Is it faith or is it unbelief? Because faith gives rise to thinking big, while unbelief gives rise to fear. And fear can stifle your thinking and shrink your thinking and cause you to be afraid of that big dream that might be out there for you. One of the points that the author was very clear in making is that there are two questions that are asked, one by the whiner and one by the winner. The whiner simply asks, how can I? But the winner says, how can I? The whiner says, can I? There's doubt built into that question, not certain that I can, so why even bother? On the other hand, the winner simply says, that may be something I need to learn in order to do it. That the question I ask myself is, how can I?
Absolutely. So we're talking about winners think big and whiners think small. And what you said is, winners ask a different question. Winner says, how can I do it? A whiner says, can I do it? And we're answering the question, but what does it mean to really think big? What does it mean to think bigger than what you're originally thinking? And Michelle, I'm gonna come to you and offer up that question as well, because I really believe that thinking big is thinking beyond where you are today. It means you're also getting into your, being uncomfortable. What do you think, Michelle?
Absolutely. It requires more discipline. It requires you to get out of your comfort place, whatever that place is, whatever your mindset is. It's really about renewing the mind and being so intentional about where or what you're trying to achieve. I know with me, sometimes I get in my own way, Jill. I know it's a great idea. I know it's an idea that I'm trying to birth, but sometimes I'll get in my way and say, you know what, maybe not. But the thing that helps me along the way is getting around people that are already accomplishing those goals, people that's going to speak life into that idea, that thought, that thinking big momentum. So I have to intentionally be disciplined enough when fear tries to rise its head, when doubt, when it's really unbelief, because I am a woman of faith, so therefore I should always try to position myself for greater. So it's discipline, right, being intentional, and always having the right people around me.
Well, let's think about some examples. I like examples also, and sometimes we'll start with the big examples, people that we see on TV. Because often when I want to think big, sometimes I have to see something or see someone that inspires me. And Oprah Winfrey, oh my goodness, I know inspires us all. You talk about thinking big, right? Oprah went from being a reporter on TV, right, to thinking bigger, to having her own TV show, to thinking bigger, to now having her own TV network, right? Those are stages of thinking big and big and bigger. Or Magic Johnson, right? He was a basketball player, right? Then he became a businessman. He began to think bigger. I mean, owning over 100 Starbucks, movie theaters, 31 Burger Kings, 13 fitness centers, TGI Fridays. I'm not even done, right? Those are examples of thinking bigger. Now, there are some of us on the line who are already trained to think, well, that's Oprah. Well, that's Magic Johnson. They have means and resources. They're supposed to think big. But neither one of them started out with me, right? At some point, they decided to think bigger. Let's take this call, for example. I believe that my purpose is to empower people, is to push people with my passion and my gift of oration and articulation, and I do that in conferences across the country. But when it came time to pull this call together, I'm going to be honest. This might be small to some people. This is thinking bigger for me, okay, and for the team on the call. But Bishop, there was a little fear involved when it came to creating a concept like this. This was thinking bigger for me. I was a little afraid, like Michelle talked about and like you talked about, the fear piece. I was concerned about what people might say, or, nobody's going to listen to what we have to say and things of nature. So I'm talking about things sometimes that may keep us from thinking big. Bishop, talk more about that. What continues to keep us from thinking big?
Well, Jill, a lot depends on what kind of diet our thinking is on. Are we on health food or junk food? Junk food is the small talk and the chatter that goes on at the water cooler and in the office that really doesn't amount to anything. It's really a distraction from feeding the vision and the passion that we need to pursue those dreams. On the other hand, health food is when we're around people who have wise counsel, people who have accomplished and achieved things and who are leaving footprints for others to follow. We need to hitch our wagon to people who are feeding us health food, even if they challenge our small thinking, because a person who thinks small can never prompt us to think big.
Okay, stop. That's a hashtag moment. Hashtag that right now in the group. A person who thinks small can never challenge us to think big. I love that. And Bishop, we're talking about thinking big right now here on Momentum Mondays. Distinction number 3, winners think big, whiners think small. And Bishop, I love what you said about it. It depends on what diet you are on. Are you eating junk food or do you have healthy food? Junk food is that small talk. Oh, I love that, Bishop. It is the conversation of the whiners. It is the negativity. It is the complaining. It's talking about things that don't even matter. I remember I was having a conversation with one person, and, I mean, they wanted to spend 35 minutes talking about this reality show like it was somebody's life on this reality show. And I thought, okay, like, I know there are some other substantive things. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but I'm saying that, Bishop, this is an example of what you spend your time on and what you're eating mentally. I love that. This is awesome. So we're talking about winners thinking big. How do you do that? Michelle, you also mentioned being around other people that can help you get there. Lynette, I happen to know you just had an amazing experience at another conference that helped you think bigger. Would you like to share that this morning?
Absolutely, Jill. This past June, I attended for the second year in a row the Power Networking Conference that's hosted by George Frazier, and Les Brown was there this year. And I was in a room with so many movers and shakers and people who demonstrated big thinking. And for me to attend an event like that, my mind expanded and my thinking expanded. And what I noticed about all the successful people in that room was there was nothing particularly special about them. It was just simply the fact that they made a choice to think big and to go after their dreams. Literally not talk about it, but be about it. And so my personal thinking expanded. Some of the things that I just got inspired to do literally came from being around people who I saw winning from themselves. So a lot of times, just like it was mentioned earlier, you have to look at people and study those individuals who are doing the things that you want to do. And you'll notice, again, it's nothing necessarily special about these people. It's just a choice. All of us have the capability of making a choice. And it's just exciting because a lot of times it don't matter where you are today. It doesn't matter what your situation is today. All you have to do is make the decision and go after your dream.
I love that. And so, my question is, and I hear people on the line, my question is to ask the questions other folks have. How do I go from thinking small to thinking big, right? We're saying think big, and that sounds so easy. Think big. What does it mean to think big? First of all, go above and beyond. Past your fears and past your comfort zones. What keeps us sometimes from thinking big? The fear factor. We are afraid. We're going to be judged. We're going to be criticized, or we're hanging around other people who think small, right? So how do we go from thinking small to thinking big? Lynette, you talked about being around other people that inspire you, which is important. And I want to say there are actually some things happening right now that people can join. Bishop Robbins actually is having an amazing leadership conference in the Philadelphia area, right? You can look him up on Facebook. If you want to learn how to think big, join events like that. Danita Washington is having an amazing summer girls youth camp in Fort Wayne. Look her up on Facebook. If you want to think big, get around people who are thinking big. We're actually hosting a cruise to the Bahamas, which is absolutely amazing. I actually got an email yesterday from someone asking, can they still join? Is it too late? And I said, no, you can still come. Get around other people who are practice thinking big. I want to go back to this fear piece one more time before we begin the transition, because it's so easy to say think big, but we know people struggle with that because of fear. Tanita, why do you think fear has such a grip on people when it comes to thinking big?
Well, Jill, I think a lot of it has to do that we've been conditioned to be fearful. I think from a young age, a lot of times adults and parents not doing it knowingly, they put fear as a part of our lifeline as young people. And so what I tell people all the time is that teach your children to be fearless. I don't care if it's something that makes you uncomfortable. For example, like math. Math is a subject that I had struggled with all of my life as a young person. So when my kids began school, the fear purged out of my mouth to my sons. And I thank God for people who come alongside you and say, like Dr. Sharon Banks did with me, she said, Danita, don't speak that death into your children about math. Speak life about math into them. See, whiners, they think small. I fear to hold their destiny hostage. No, we cannot teach young people that. We have to unleash them to the world to let them know you are amazing. I can and I will. Winners, that's the way that they think. They think, confront their fears, and they choose to walk in faith with it. So they think big. Jill, that's kind of what I see with fear. A lot of times we have conditioned and taught it, and we have to break that cycle.
Danita, I love that point. Bishop, I want you to pick that point up a little bit because we're talking about what is it that keeps us from thinking big. Folks, this is it. This is what separates the winners from the losers is the way that we think. And Bishop, she said we've been conditioned to fear things, and sometimes we even teach fear. What do you think about that?
That is absolutely the case. And not only do we teach it by verbal instruction, we teach it by the decisions and choices that we make around our kids. Remember, the greatest sermon that our lives will preach is not going to be verbal. It's going to be what we do, because you can declare a thing, but unless you're willing to demonstrate it, you are not yet, it has not become a reality. Faith and fear cannot exist in the same geographical space. The reason why fear can take hold is because we have not invited faith in. Faith is a determined decision to believe something no matter how impossible it seems. Nobody's ever seen God, but we believe in him. Our faith is in him because of what we have chosen to believe. So again, we either choose faith or we choose fear, but both of them cannot exist in the same place at the same time or in the same person at the same time.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Folks, you have joined Momentum Mondays. We are talking about distinction number 3, from top 10 distinctions between winners and whiners by Keith Cameron Smith, and it's called Winners Think Big. How do you know you're thinking big? When you begin to feel nervous. How do you know that you're thinking big? When it stretches you outside your comfort zone. How do you know when you're thinking big? When people begin to laugh at you and tell you that you can't do it. If you don't have people looking at you like you're crazy, if you don't have people questioning why you would think about doing something like a weekly motivational call. I mean, we have people on this line from all over the country. Where are my notes? We had Fort Wayne, Indiana, who always shows up to represent. We have Tampa, Florida, Philadelphia, Southwood, Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, Bear, Delaware, Wilmington, Newark. I know New Orleans. I know I'm missing some other people. Folks, we are thinking big, and we're inviting you to think big with us. Challenge on the table. A lot of you have just requested to be part of our Facebook group. We're going to go ahead and accept you inside the group. I want you to make a statement today by 12 o'clock p.m. What's one thing you're going to do that's thinking big, right? So, for example, let's see, if you have been thinking about starting your own business and you've just been afraid to do it, I want you to put it out there and say, you know what, before December 2015, I'm going to start that business, or whatever it is, whatever thinking big is for you. I challenge you to do that. Michelle, what do you think about challenging people to do that this morning?
I think it's good. Let's do it. Let's push each one. Everyone push each other. Let's make our dreams reality. Let's not talk about it. Let's be about it, Jill.
Absolutely. Well, folks, if you like what you heard today, join us tonight inside the group around 9:30, where we're going to be continuing this discussion in our Facebook group. I want to say congrats to all of you folks who made it inside of our 30-day challenge. You've stepped up to grow up and go up. So you're going to hear more from this amazing group. And, again, join our Facebook group today. Invite a friend. Put it on your calendar. Set a reminder on your phone. And join us next Monday here for Momentum Mondays, where your Mondays will never be the same. Let's open up the lines. Lynette and everyone say, I'm thinking big today. Let's go. I'm thinking big.
Big today.
I'm thinking
big today. I'm thinking big today.
Thinking big today. Thinking big today. I'm thinking big today.
I'm thinking big today.
I'm thinking big today. Yes. I'm thinking big today. Woo! Yes. Okay.